universe gave us over a decade of build-ups, payoffs, and moments that made theatres erupt in cheers.
Bring me Thanos!
I've probably watched these Avengers scenes more times than I can count, and I'm sure you've done the same. So let's count down the top 25 Avengers moments we keep coming back to.
And I will not be bullied by that.
Loki's entire arc in the Avengers built him up as the untouchable villain until Hulk grabs him mid-speech and proceeds to ragdoll the god of mischief into the floor repeatedly. I lose it every single time because the scene perfectly captures what makes Hulk great. He doesn't care about your monologue or your divine status, he just smashes.
And Hulk. Smash.
The contrast between Loki's verbose superiority and Hulk's wordless brutality creates comedy gold. Tom Hiddleston's performance as Loki lying in the rubble, groaning, sells the humiliation completely.
Puny god.
It's the moment that proved the MCU could balance genuine stakes with humour that lands. Mark Ruffalo's Hulk walks away without any positive acknowledgement of what just happened, almost like swatting a particularly annoying mosquito. The phrase puny god entered the cultural lexicon immediately because it summarises the entire exchange perfectly. This scene reassures audiences that even cosmic threats can be brought down to earth, literally. It remains one of the most memeable moments in MCU history, and for good reason too. Remember when Tony falls through the portal after nuking the Chitauri mothership, unconscious and plummeting towards certain death? I remember watching this in theatres, holding my breath as he drops, and then Hulk appears from nowhere, snatching bro out of the air and sliding down a building. The raw Hulk lets out afterwards serves dual purpose, waking Tony and announcing victory. It's a brief moment but cements the team dynamic, showing Hulk as a protector rather than just a destroyer. The way Hulk gently sets Tony down contrasts with the puny god seed, demonstrating he knows who's on his side. Tony's groggy
"What just happened? Please tell me nobody kissed me."
breaks the tension perfectly. Steve's earlier comment about Tony making the sacrifice play makes this moment shine.
You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play. To lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you?
Because his character arc shifts from selfish genius to team player. I appreciate how this scene bookends Tony's journey in the film, from allegedly refusing to be the guy who makes the sacrifice to literally doing that.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
So there may be no way to make you trust me, but we need to go.
The Avengers are arguing about Ultron, weapons, and trust when Vision casually picks up Thor's hammer and hands it to him like it's nothing. Naturally, the room goes silent. I love how Paul Bettany plays this moment with complete innocence, as Vision has no idea he's just done something impossible. Thor's face when he sees Mjolnir in Vision's hand goes through 5 stages of grief in just 2 seconds.
Are you ready?
It's the ultimate character establishment because being worthy of Thor's hammer immediately tells you everything about Vision's nature.
Okay, what?
The scene works on multiple levels. Comic relief after the whole mess Ultron created, proof of Vision's purity, and also a setup for him joining the team. It's such a random moment out of nowhere that it became a fan favourite in no time. I've rewatched this specifically to catch everyone's reactions, and apart from the others, I'd say Tony gets some vindication that his creation has merit. Vision lifting Mjolnir bypasses pages of potential dialogue arguing whether he can be trusted or not.
You're unbearably naive.
Well, I was born yesterday.
This scene hits differently on rewatches because you're looking for hints that Thanos actually loves Gamora, trying to understand how someone so monstrous can cry while murdering his own daughter. The Red Skull's revelation that Thanos must sacrifice what he loves most for the Soul Stone sets up genuine tragedy.
In order to take the stone, you must lose that which you love. A soul for a soul.
Zoe Saldana and Josh Brolin both sell this moment through their performances. Gamora's horror and Thanos' grief combine into something deeply uncomfortable. I hate that it works emotionally, making us feel for the villain committing filicide. The scene confirms Thanos believes he's doing what's necessary,
I'm sorry, little one.
and that his love for Gamora is real even as he throws her off a cliff. Gamora's initial relief, thinking he can't get the stone, turns to terror when she realizes that she is the price. The orange glow of the Soul Stone appearing in Thanos' hands feels like condemnation rather than a reward. It's a moment that recontextualizes Thanos from brutal villain to a conflicted character.
This isn't love.
I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you.
Go ahead.
This is an agent of some kind.
Gentlemen, this is Laura.
I know all your names.
The team shows up at Clint's secret farmhouse and we discover Hawkeye has a whole family that nobody knew about. I respect this choice because it gives depth to the guy who seemed the least powered and most expendable. Jeremy Renner plays the exhaustion of living a double life, being a superhero and a dad, keeping these worlds separate to protect what matters most.
What are you guys doing?
These are
Look at your face.
smaller agents.
The scenes of Clint with his kids and his pregnant wife humanize the Avengers in a way Stark Tower never could. The whole notion about Clint being a good man is proven here, and it does a lot more than just provide us with shock value. I like how this revelation makes Clint's survival instinct make sense. He's not just fighting to win, he's fighting to keep his family safe.
Just be sure.
Yes, ma'am.
The farmhouse becomes a symbol of the normal life the Avengers protect but can never fully have themselves. It's a quiet moment in a loud movie that adds emotional weight to the premise of being a superhero.
Honey, I missed you. Nothing.
Pietro Maximoff doesn't really get a lot of screen time before sacrificing himself to save Hawkeye and a kid, but I suppose he's so fast that even a minute would feel like an hour. Anyway, the scene happens fast, which matches his power. He sees the bullets, calculates he can't save Hawkeye, the kid, and himself, and chooses heroism. I mean, I'm still annoyed that they killed him off so quickly because Aaron Taylor-Johnson brought charisma to the role, and his dynamic with Wanda had potential for so much more. But the death itself lands emotionally, with Wanda feeling her twin die from across the battlefield. Pietro's last words, "You didn't see that coming," is a nice callback to his earlier joke.
You didn't see that coming? You didn't see that coming.
Turning cockiness into tragedy. Hawkeye's reaction shows he understands the sacrifice, that this kid died for him and has to mean something. There's no funeral scene as such, but it's not needed to emphasize Wanda's isolation without her brother. I've rewatched this so many times that I've grown numb to how quickly the MCU makes you care about a character before taking them away, proving they can execute emotional beats.
Well, I'm Howard Stark. Hi. Shake that, don't pull it.
Yeah.
During the time heist, Tony encounters his dad in 1970 and has a conversation most kids would love to have with their parents. I tear up when Howard talks about his unborn son, not knowing he's talking to that very same son about himself.
Flowers and sauerkraut. You got a big date tonight?
My wife's expecting. And, too much time at the office.
Robert Downey Jr. plays Tony's desperation to connect, to understand his father, and to find closure for decades of complicated feelings. Howard's advice, being a parent, doing your best and hoping it's enough, lands because Tony's also become a father himself at that point. The hug between the two of them carries all the weight of their broken relationship. A brief moment where they're just two men rather than father and son. I appreciate how this scene doesn't necessarily right any wrongs of the past.
You know, he did drop the odd pearl.
Yeah? Like what?
No amount of money ever bought a second of time.
Smart guy.
Did his best.
But it actually gives Tony some much needed closure about their relationship. His quiet thank you before leaving encompasses gratitude for the resources, the advice, and the accidental therapy session. It's a time travel scene that earns its emotional payoff.
What is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
Where is this other nebula?
In our solar system, on Morath.
Search the duplicate's memories for Infinity Stones.
The moment 2014 Nebula's implants sync with 2023 Nebula's memories sets up one of Endgame's best betrayals. I find this fascinating because it's Nebula's own technology that dooms the mission, a cruel irony given how much she hates what Thanos made her into. Watching 2014 Nebula discover her future self, learning about her bond with the Avengers, and the eventual outcome shows someone confronting who they could become.
Your daughter is a traitor.
That's not me. That's not. I would never betray you. Never.
The scene where she's forced to help Thanos while her future self is compromised creates internal conflict beyond simple villainy. Karen Gillan plays both versions distinctly, hardened servant versus healing survivor. Of course, since she's not experienced anything that'll make her switch over to the not-so-dark side, she eventually becomes cannon fodder in the final battle. Even so, learning that she could sync with a future version of herself was a mad revelation.
I know. And you'll have the chance to prove it.
Thor's hammer of the past comes flying into the hand of the Captain America of the present during the final battle, and I swear I've never heard a theatre explode that loudly. The setup was perfect, as it started all the way back in 2015's Age of Ultron. It showed Cap budging Mjolnir slightly, and Endgame delivered on that tease 4 years later. Chris Evans' performance as Cap wielding both shield and hammer radiates pure satisfaction, like he's been waiting his whole life for this.
Assemble.
Thor's "I knew it" shows he always suspected Cap was worthy.
I knew it.
But was too insecure to mention it. I love how the film doesn't explain why Cap can suddenly lift it, because the writers trust the audience to understand his worthiness was always there. The lightning effects, Cap summoning Mjolnir back to his hand, and the hammer attacks with the shield creates visual combinations that we'd never seen. It's a moment that rewards longtime fans who'd been invested since the first Cap movie in 2011, delivering on a generational setup.
No, give me that. You have the little one.
When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Loki threatens Tony in Stark Tower, and Tony's response is casually mentioning they have a Hulk, and it's not too long before Hulk appears and performs the puny god scene. I appreciate how this line flips the usual dynamic of heroes being outmatched. Here, Tony's confident because his team includes something scarier than whatever Loki brought. It establishes the Avengers' strength through the variance in their abilities.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
That having an angry green rage monster on your side changes threat calculations drastically. Robert Downey Jr. delivers it with his trademark smug confidence, knowing Loki's about to have a bad time. The moment works because it's both a setup and a punchline. The threat was solid, and the delivery regarding performance issues was just great comedy. I've rewatched this so many times because it's genuine entertainment that gives us so much satisfaction, even as Iron Man gets thrown out of a window himself. It is peak Tony talking trash while his tower is about to get attacked and his life is in danger.
Maybe your army comes, and maybe it's too much for us, but it's all on you. Because if we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it.
This one follows right after the previous entry. The scene where Tony is thrown out of Stark Tower and his armor assembles around him mid-fall remains one of the smoothest superhero suiting up sequences ever filmed. I'm mesmerized watching that one chunk fly from the building, calculating trajectory to intercept Tony's fall, then going on to attach itself in sequence. The trust this requires, falling and hoping your technology works perfectly, shows Tony's absolute confidence in his engineering, despite being thrown by a literal god. The repulsors firing to stop his fall right before impact maintains tension, despite knowing that he's going to be fine. I appreciate how this version of the armor improves on previous films, the automation and speed showing Tony's constant innovation. The high stakes involved here turn the moment into pure adrenaline, matching Tony's showmanship perfectly. It's a moment that looks cool in screenshots, but demands motion to appreciate it fully. I mean, the fluidity of the assembly created something almost like an elegant dance.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Shakespeare in the Park? Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
Peter Parker's spider sense goes off on the bus, alerting him to Thanos' ship arriving. I love how Tom Holland plays teenage Peter's priorities.
I need you to cause a distraction. Holy shit. We're all gonna die!
Hide the crisis from classmates, make an excuse, web swing towards potential death, while also being excited about what's to come. Later on, when we see him on the ship, Peter awkwardly deals with his father figure Iron Man while admitting he's a stowaway on the ship. It shows him trying to fit into Tony's world, which I guess is typical pseudo-son behavior. His whole role in the film starts with this instinct to help despite being outclassed by cosmic threats. Of course, it was also cool to see him helping Iron Man deal with Cull Obsidian. Peter's youth and enthusiasm contrast sharply with the veteran's caution, reminding us what's at stake.
Hey man, what's up, Mr. Stark?
Kid, where'd you come from?
The
preserving the next generation. The moment he officially becomes an Avenger later carries weight because we saw him choose this life, leave his field trip, and follow his responsibility despite the danger.
Kid, you're an Avenger now.
All right, everybody, stand down.
We all waited for this one after the trailers, didn't we? Scarlet Witch corrupts Hulk's mind, sending him on a rampage through Johannesburg until Tony deploys the Hulk Buster armor. This fight showcases two friends forced into conflict, Tony trying to incapacitate Banner without hurting him too much, while Hulk's in full rage mode. I'm impressed by the choreography showing Hulk adapted mid-flight, ripping off armor pieces as Tony replaces them with orbital drops.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
The property damage escalates hilariously, with Tony buying the building they're about to destroy, then smashing Hulk through it anyway. It's one of the few scenes where Hulk faces a physical equal. The Hulk Buster was designed specifically to match his strength after all. I appreciate Tony's sentiments during this fight, knowing Banner will hate himself after for the destruction. The final punch that knocks Hulk out came after all the destruction, which further shows why Iron Man takes no pleasure in this. It's a fight scene that's also character study, exploring what happens when the safety measures against an Avenger become necessary.
I'm sorry.
The Wakanda battle is failing.
Should have got paid up front, Banner.
You know, for a man who's supposed to be avoiding stress, you picked a hell of a place to settle.
The scene where Natasha tracks down Bruce Banner in India pretending to need a doctor while actually recruiting him for the Avengers initiative establishes their complex dynamic immediately. I love how Scarlett Johansson plays Natasha's confidence wavering when Bruce doesn't even react adversely to her presence. It's almost as if the Master Spy is getting outplayed by a man who spent years hiding. Mark Ruffalo's Banner radiates exhaustion mixed with a dark humor, joking about blowing his brains out while making it clear he's always one bad moment away from hulking out.
Why don't we do this the easy way where you don't use that and the other guy doesn't make a mess? Okay?
The tension in this scene comes from knowing Natasha's surrounded by armed agents, but Bruce could end all of those puny dudes in mere seconds if provoked. His line about getting the other guy's perspective shows he's made peace with the Hulk while still fearing loss of control.
What if I say no?
I'll persuade you.
And what if the other guy says no?
I appreciate how this introduction shows Banner is intelligent and self-aware, rather than just a monster in waiting. The casual way he handles Black Widow's manipulative words, turning it into something more akin to negotiation, proves why Fury wants him specifically. Well, it's also the fact that he can turn into an angry green giant, isn't it? Anyway, it's a recruitment scene that doubles as a character study for the both of them. Tony's working on a model of time travel despite telling Steve he wouldn't help, and the moment he solves it accidentally is pure character work. Robert Downey Jr. plays Tony's conflict perfectly. There's a sense of optimism at solving the impossible versus knowing success means risking everything he's built.
And now, we have a chance to bring her back, to bring everyone back, and you're telling me that you won't even—
That's right, Scott, I will.
It's not like he's being unreasonable either. He has grounded concerns, showing what he could lose if the time heist goes wrong. The man's engineering is just too good, and seeing his motivation increase after talking to his daughter only adds more depth to his character's humanity.
Shit. What are you doing up, little miss?
Shit.
Nope, we don't say that. Only Mommy says that word. She coined it. It belongs to her.
His conversation with Pepper about doing the right thing shows how much he's grown from the arrogant genius in Iron Man. The casual brilliance of him cracking time travel makes total sense for his character. Well, it's technically multiversal time travel, but you know, it still fits the bill, doesn't it? There's no action or anything, but there's a keen sense of accomplishment in watching this moment over and over again.
Love you tons.
I love you 3,000.
3,000? That's crazy.
I can't help but feature this moment every chance I get because honestly, it happened so fast during my first watch that I barely registered how something so brief could hit that hard.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
I'm always angry line might have never felt like a clever quip, but seeing that instantaneous transformation followed by a single punch knockout was a total shock for everyone in the theatre. Marvel's visual effects team was at the absolute top of their game during this era, and frankly, it's a tragedy we don't see this level of punchy, high-quality work in modern superhero flicks. The way this scene is structured is pure genius. Nobody expects a massive display of sheer dominance right after Bruce Banner rolls up to the world-ending party on a tiny, rickety scooter. He looks like a guy who should be tossing newspapers on a quiet suburban street, not delivering a god-tier haymaker that grounded a literal flying leviathan. It's the ultimate don't judge a book by its cover moment, proving that the strongest Avenger doesn't need a flashy entrance to completely steal the show. Yes, Wanda destroys the Mind Stone, killing Vision in the process to prevent Thanos from completing the gauntlet, and then she watches Thanos reverse time and rip the stone from Vision's head anyway. This double death hits hard at each rewatch because you know the immense sacrifice here is meaningless. Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen sell the tragedy of Vision asking Wanda to kill him.
We are out of time.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
And of her choosing the universe over the person she loves. The moment Vision logs off after she succeeds feels like a small victory before Thanos reverses everything. I hate how perfectly this demonstrates the Time Stone's power and Thanos' cruelty, forcing Wanda to witness Vision's death twice in just a matter of seconds. Vision's last words encouraging Wanda create dramatic irony, since he'll never know what she becomes afterwards. The green of the Time Stone rewinding his death contrasts with the yellow of his Mind Stone being ripped out. It's basically color theory as tragedy. It's a scene that proves love and sacrifice aren't enough when your opponent controls time itself.
If he gets the stone, half the universe dies. It shouldn't be you, but it is. It's all right. You could never hurt me.
We'll never be.
Here, Loki tries to stab Thanos after pretending to swear loyalty and gets choked to death for the effort. Tom Hiddleston's pseudo-final appearance as Loki shows someone who's learned heroism but can't quite escape his old tricks, attempting assassination that has no chance of success.
Do you have a bit of experience in that arena?
If you consider failure experience.
I consider experience.
I respect that Loki dies trying to save Thor, his last words to Thanos declaring, "You will never be a god," in defiance. The scene where Thanos casually snaps his neck and drops the body in front of Thor sets the stakes immediately. The villain we spent 7 years learning to love dies in the first 10 minutes. Thor's anguish watching his adopted brother die makes their complicated relationship feel like it's been taken away too soon. I've rewatched this so many times, especially when Loki pulls the knife, knowing this suicide mission is still braver than anything he's actually ever done before. It's a death that honors Loki's growth while acknowledging he was never strong enough to face Thanos directly.
Let me put you on hold.
Mastering the art deception is the bread and butter of any elite shadow agent, and Natasha Romanoff practically invented the game in this opening sequence. If there was a Spy of the Year trophy, Black Widow would have cleared the shelf just for how she handled those Russians. It's always a riot how Hollywood movies usually let every foreign character speak perfect English, yet they always make sure the Russian villain sounds exactly like they're from a Cold War fever dream.
На кого ты работаешь? На Лермонтова, да? Он все еще думает.
Scarlett Johansson absolutely kills it here, flexing some serious linguistic muscles and using that damsel in distress act to make those guys look like total amateurs. She played them like a fiddle, letting some high-ranking ego tripper spill all the tea while he thought he actually had it cornered. The moment that phone rings and she switches gears is when the audience realizes that we're all going to get played right along with the villains. It's a top-tier gotcha moment capped off by a brutal takedown. While we know she's had a stunt double since her debut in the MCU, Scarlett still brings that authentic grit to the screen. Whoever was throwing the punches in this scene, I mean, the result was pure cinematic gold.
I got him!
Yes, Tony steals the Infinity Stones during his struggle with Thanos, transferring them to his armor before snapping the Mad Titan's army to dust. The moment Tony says, "I am Iron Man," in response to Thanos' "I am
inevitable.
Bookends his entire journey from the first film. Robert Downey Jr. plays the snap as a painful acceptance, knowing this is his death but choosing it anyway to save everyone. I always sob watching Pepper talking to dying Tony and then hearing her tell him he can rest now.
You can rest now.
The weight of 11 years of storytelling converging on one character's sacrifice. The parallel to his vision in Age of Ultron, seeing the Avengers dead, transforms from nightmare to prevented future, all through his death. I appreciate how the film doesn't rush this moment, letting it breathe and showing a few reactions from across the battlefield. Tony's arc from the I am Iron Man arrogance to the I am Iron Man sacrifice shows complete character evolution, doesn't it? It's the death that ends the Infinity Saga, and it remains devastating, even on every rewatch.
Then again, that's the hero gig. Part of the journey is the end. I love you 3000.
A regular human can only do so much when they're squared up against a cosmic titan who makes literal gods look like helpless marionettes. Thanos spent the opening of the film establishing that terrifying power gap, and I'm sure Bruce Banner's frantic warning left Tony Stark under no illusions about the threat. But being just a mortal never stopped Tony from throwing hands. In fact, he and the Titan Squad engineered a plan so clinical they actually would have stripped the Infinity Gauntlet right off Thanos' hand.
You throw another moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
If Star-Lord hadn't pulled the ultimate complete doofus move after finding out about Gamora. Honestly, it's been nearly a decade and I still can't find a logical defense for that level of stupidity, especially since Tony and co were just inches away from winning. Despite the sabotage, the actual fight was legendary. Iron Man didn't just survive, he went toe-to-toe with a monster and actually made him bleed. It was a tiny victory, sure, but it proved Tony's resilience was on a completely different level.
All that for a drop of blood.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
The post-credit scene showing the Avengers silently eating shawarma in a destroyed restaurant after saving New York became instantly iconic for how perfectly it captures exhaustion and camaraderie. It ain't anything special, but it's so random that fans couldn't stop rewatching it. I'm obsessed with how nobody talks. They just eat, covered in dirt and debris, processing what they've just survived together. Now, film nerds would probably know the scene was filmed after the premiere, requiring Chris Evans to wear a prosthetic jaw to hide the beard he'd grown for Snowpiercer, which makes his face covering posture even funnier. It's the most human moment in a film full of superhero spectacle, showing that after saving the world, these people just need food and a minute to breathe.
We're not finished yet.
And then shawarma after.
The restaurant staff awkwardly being around them while they eat adds to the absurdist humor. I love how this scene became a cultural touchstone, people specifically seeking out the shawarma restaurant shown in the film. It proves Whedon understood that after 2 hours of action, audiences needed something quiet and character-driven. The silence speaks louder than any victory speech could, showing a team that's bonded through trauma and is too tired to celebrate properly.
Got it! Cinema history.
How'd the shoot go the other night?
Don't know what you're talking about.
What? I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
You should have gone for the head.
You know, when Thor buries Stormbreaker in Thanos' chest and Thanos whispers, "You should have gone for the head," before snapping his fingers, it broke everyone in the cinema. The moment the snap happens, reality itself seems to pause before people start turning to dust. I remember the crowd from when I watched the movie going silent. The audience just couldn't believe Marvel would actually let the villain win, and they were expecting a reversal that never comes. Watching characters dissolve, starting with Bucky, then spreading across Wakanda to other locations, creates mounting horror as you realize this is real. Peter Parker's death scene, clinging to Tony and apologizing while fading, remains one of Tom Holland's best performances. And this is when he was still relatively new to the MCU, you know. The final shot of Thanos sitting alone watching sunrise over a new universe shows a villain who accomplished his goal while losing everything meaningful. I've rewatched to catch every dusting. Groot, Wanda, Strange, T'Challa, each loss compounding the tragedy. It's a scene that broke the MCU's pattern of guaranteed happy endings, proving stakes could be permanent.
Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Avengers!
Assemble.
Steve Rogers finally says the line we've been waiting for since 2012, Avengers Assemble. The theatre erupted, and I don't think I've experienced collective joy quite like that moment. Chris Evans delivered it perfectly, not shouting, but commanding the weight of his journey from World War II soldier to leader of Earth's heroes behind those 2 words.
Is that everyone? Like you wanted more?
The way the shot shows every assembled hero before the epic charge of the decade gives time to appreciate the scale and the accomplishment of bringing all these characters together. I lose it when everyone runs forward, with all the different fighting styles and powers combining in one chaotic, glorious battle. The shot composition showing Cap leading the charge with Mjolnir and whatever's left of his shield, Wakandans running alongside Asgardians, and wizards fighting next to super soldiers represents why the MCU works. It's the whole galaxy of superheroes facing extinction. It's a moment that rewards 11 years of investment, making every rewatch feel like the first time because the emotions just never diminish. This is what we showed up for, what all those end credit scenes promised, and it absolutely delivers.
This is the fight of our lives. And we're gonna win, whatever it takes.
Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.